Oh, why hello there. I'm Professor Face, and I'm here to talk about some sciences. Well, molecules and experiments and laboratories and chemical compounds and so on and so forth. Okay, so maybe you're not a real scientist, but you may have met some of Healthy Harold's kid scientists. Now these fascinating humans are the real deal. They keep popping up, explaining all manner of complex concepts to the brilliant young students of Australia, like your lovely selves. Bravo, I say, bravo. I think now is much fortuitous time to introduce you to the one of the best, young Roxy. Now, you may have met her before, but please pay close attention as there will be a quick quiz at the end.
Yama, I'm Roxy, one of Healthy Harold's kid scientists. It's time to talk about smoking, and to do that, we need to know a bit of history as well as some science. I'm going to take you back in time thousands of years ago to South America, a place where the tobacco plant naturally grows. The ancient people living there discovered that if they chewed the leaves of the tobacco plant, it would make them feel more alert. What's with that? Well, nicotine is a stimulant drug. Stimulants make the messages in the nervous system travel faster, they make the heartbeat faster, and they make a person feel more alert. Fast forward a few thousand years ago, and as people started exploring the world, they shared lots of things, including tobacco. Eventually, tobacco spread around the world, even to my ancestors, the First Nations people of Australia. Smoking tobacco was never a part of our culture, but now it's hurt so many of our people. Last century, in wartime, soldiers were given cigarettes, to help them stay alert and stuff. And cigarettes were cheap and anyone could buy them, but they became popular before the doctors and scientists knew much about them. By the 1950s, most people smoked. I know that sounds so weird now. Then the doctors started to notice more and more people getting sick from illnesses that were once rare. Why was this happening? Because cigarette smoke contains over 7,000 chemicals, including chemicals we now know cause cancer, block the tubes taking blood around the heart, and make people super sick. Lungs are amazing. They are huge. They are delicate, and they are designed to absorb the oxygen we need to survive. Smoking damages the lungs, and the chemicals from the smoke can go into the blood and affect every part of the body. And it's not just the smoker who is affected. The chemicals from the smoke can be breathed in by the people who are near them. Smoking affects a person's fitness, and it can cause mouth and teeth problems and bad breath, and it costs lots of money and makes a person sick and smelly. So why do people do it? Well, once they start, they usually find it mega hard to stop. It's addictive. The drug nicotine makes the smoker want to keep smoking. There's so much for all of us to think about, but it's time to take a breath now. See ya!
So, fabulous people out there on the other side of the screen, please place your hands on your desk or on the floor, whatever is closer, and let's see who can raise their hands the fastest to answer the following incredibly challenging questions. I'm hoping your teacher can keep an eye out on you all to see who raises their hands the fastest. Okay? Drum roll, please. Question 1. Can anyone recall how many chemicals are in cigarettes? If you said over 7,000, you are absolutely right. Question 2. What is the main function of our incredible lungs? It is to absorb. Looky there. O2. Very sciencey of me. That's science talk for oxygen. Jolly good. The oxygen we get in the air we breathe. Sounds pretty important now that you mention it. And our final question, question 3. What is the name of the chemical in cigarettes and vapes that is highly addictive? Excellent. Nicotine. Actually not excellent, because the addictive nature of nicotine is actually a pretty big problem. You see, my clever students, an addiction is where a person's body and brain get so used to the drug that they crave more and more of it. But there are some costs to being addicted with nicotine. I'm going to give you a few seconds now to see how many costs you can come up with. And here is a big clue. It's more than just cold hard cash. Oh, where'd you come from, my giraffe friend? I'm looking for answers here about things that are other than money. Yes, okay, money is still a big one. Okay, see how many costs or consequences of smoking or vaping you can come up with in the next 10 seconds. So, it sounds pretty costly on all counts. I suppose of all these reasons not to do it, it's hard to imagine what would make a person start in the first place. And then, there's all this. I reckon most of you would have seen this rubbish like this lying around in the car parks and parks. I mean, I've seen them on the beach. All primed and ready to get washed straight in the ocean. It breaks my heart seeing this stuff. It's not gonna break down and go away. They're made of plastics and contain chemical batteries. I can't believe that people aren't getting the message about looking after the environment yet. I feel like we get it, but wow. I'm gonna take a moment and take a breath while you get the lowdown.
Vapes and cigarettes. They don't just cause health problems, they're bad for the environment too. The good news is that we can learn about the problem and our generation can do better. When people smoke, they release harmful chemicals into the air. Cigarette butts are the little brown ends left after smoking. They're often thrown on the ground. Did you know they take about 14 years to break down? The chemicals in the cigarettes get into the soil and water, and the cigarette butts can be eaten by animals too. Vapes also send chemicals into the air. Many of these chemicals are harmful to us and the environment. Most vapes are plastic. We all know how bad plastic is for the environment. People sometimes throw used vapes on the ground, where they can cause pollution and often get washed into our waterways. Disposable vapes have a lithium battery inside. These batteries shouldn't go in normal rubbish bins because there's a risk they can explode or catch fire. When vapes go into landfill, the chemicals from the batteries can leach out into the soil and groundwater. There are places where people can throw cigarette butts away responsibly. But vapes are harder to deal with. Governments and councils are finding it hard to manage the waste because vape waste includes batteries, electronics, chemicals, and plastic. You can make a difference. Make great choices. Care for your health and our environment.
But it's not all doom and gloom. In fact, in part 3, I'm going to be announcing something very exciting. In fact, I'm too excited. I can't wait. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Aw, you want me to wait? And you think I need to take a breath? Okay, Harold, you may need to. Well, I'll catch up with you lot on the flip side.